Hey guys, all right. Good evening, Sand Valley. Good morning, Silicon Valley. So today, I thought what I would talk about today is something that appears to be on everyone's mind, especially now. I've gone to several conferences, got back from the Global AI Summit in Abu Dhabi, and this whole thing around this is an AI bubble. We're in the middle of an AI bubble. Okay, here's what I like to do. What I like to do is really take this in terms of two main key points or two myths that I want to talk to you about all this concern regarding the AI bubble. Okay, first, let's talk about myth number one. So, myth number one is, we're overbuilding compute because there is absolutely no justification or no return on all of this infrastructure, right? That's all you hear, right? Oh my God, we're putting all this money in data centers. There's no way you're going to get a return on this infrastructure. This is a AI bubble. Okay, first, let me explain something. AI returns do not come from data center economics. Why do I say that? Okay, let me put it this way. When Google talks about that 30 to 40% of all their engineers, of all their code is being produced by AI now, when they talk about that, when we talk about use the power two, and we talk about exponential human productivity, that all of these gains that we're talking about, you see, the gains in productivity, the gains or the 30 to 40% gains in the ability for humans to code, all that productivity gain isn't tied to a data center's lifespan. What's it tied to? It's tied to the lifespan of millions of humans. You see, as we talked to you about U to the power of two, Agentic AI is an infinite extension of you. It's your exponential force. It's yourself to the power of two. This is where returns lie. This is where it is. You see, return on Agentic AI isn't about the lifespan of the data center. It's on the lifespan of every human. This is the power. This is where we're going with AI. And this is which requires a mind shift. So trying to put an entire case for AI on the infrastructure returns of the data center is just not the right analogy to use. And it's not, quite frankly, the motivation that most folks, when they think about the type of change that we're driving, they're not amortizing that change or that value over the life of a simple data center. Okay, so now let's talk about the second myth. And the second myth is really important. And the second myth says that the only way to improve AI is to build bigger and better data centers, right? Bigger and better infrastructure, right? This myth basically fuels the belief that we're caught in this arms race, right? And when you really think about what's happening, that's not the case. So let's break this down. You see, people fear that when we've hit this point in AI, ultimately, where it gets more expensive the more value that we provide. So if you think about value as being on this x-axis and the cost being on the y-axis, as you try to increase value, your cost goes up more. So that means that the economic curve is an upward bending curve, right? Meaning that costs are rising more than I'm going to the right, more than value is. We already know this is not true. This is not going to be the case. How do we know that? DeepSeek proved it to us, right? They said, you know what? It's not about trying to make bigger and better. It's about a smarter approach. We've seen cost per unit of intelligence from an AI perspective, it's collapsing. Models are getting cheaper because they're more focused and easier to train on. Architectural efficiencies are giving way to training needs and things that we've seen. A mixture of expertise activating only small slices of the model that you need at a time. You don't need this 700 billion parameter model to working all the time. You're using a much smaller fraction of that parameter model to just handle certain inferences. These are what we're seeing. We're also seeing great company that we have a strategic partnership with and ownership into a JV. Great company that has distributed computing power, taking the power of your mobile device, and when you're not using your mobile device, allowing you to use that capacity of that mobile phone, which is extremely powerful, has some amazing AI chipsets in it, to run AI workloads. Accurus, great company, great product, great innovation, being able to take distributed computing power and being able to use that and make it available for artificial intelligence. So think about how long it takes to build a data center, right? In the US, it's 5 years. In some parts of the world, GCC, you're talking 5 to 7 years. No matter what happens, you're going to need some interim solution. You're going to figure out another way. Distributed computing power, edge computing power, all these advancements, great ways to, again, to attack this problem. So when we get back to myth number 2, where we're saying AI is going to, only way it's going to improve is always going to require us to have these bigger and better and more expensive models, actually the economic curve isn't going upwards. It's actually going to go downwards, meaning that we're going to spend less per unit of value that we're able to get and that we're able to drive when we think about u to the power of 2, when we think about artificial intelligence. That's where we are. So I'm going to leave you with this for tonight and this evening. When we think about AI and you're trying to look at and you're hearing all this news around the value of what is happening and we're the concern for a bubble, the problem with that analysis is that it's entirely based on the cost and benefit of infrastructure. It's entirely based on the cost and benefit associated with the infrastructure driving AI. But here's the thing. They have forgotten the most valuable asset, you. It's not the return on the data center. It's the return on every single one of us and what we can do and what we can create to drive and transform the world that we live in today. I hope you guys enjoy this. We'll chat again soon and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.